Section 6.2, example 5, writing and graphing the reflection of an exponential function. Find and graph the equation for a function g of x that reflects f of x equals 1/4 x about the x-axis. State the domain, range, and asymptotes. So let's do a little recap on transformation of functions. If we had just regular old f of x equals x squared, it's a parabola that's opening upward. To reflect it about the x-axis, all we have to do is throw a negative in front of it. So negative x squared is going to give us this graph. So really all we have to do is throw a negative in front of whatever graph we want in order to reflect it about the x-axis. So let's erase this and see what we have up here. So find and graph the equation for the function g of x that reflects f of x about the x-axis. So here we have f of x equal to 1/4 x. And we could graph that. Actually, we could leave it like that. All right, so for this one, let's just graph 3 numbers. So we'll use -1, 0, and 1. So -1 is going to be 4, 0 is going to be 1, 1 is going to be 1/4. And here at -1, we're at 4. At 0, we're at 1. And at 1, we're at 1/4. So for this one, we have domain equal to, or going from -infinity to infinity. Our range based off of our asymptote, and our asymptote is y is equal to 0. So it goes from 0 to infinity. And here for g of x, we want it to be reflected about the x-axis. So we just throw a -1 in front of it. So -1 times 1/4 raised to the power x. And let's throw exact same values. -1, 0, and 1. So when x is -1, we're looking at the reciprocal. So it's going to be the reciprocal of 1/4, which is 4, times -1 gives us -4. 0, anything raised to the power 0 is going to be 1, times -1 is going to be a -1. To the power 1, anything to the power 1 is itself. So it's going to be 1/4 times -1 is going to be -1/4. And let's take a look at those numbers. So when x is -1, here we are at -4. So -1, 2, 3, and 4. When x is 0, y is -1. When x is 1, y is 1/4. So here we have very similar graph, just reflected about the line y equals 0, also known as the x-axis. And let's look at the domain. Domain is going to be same thing, -infinity to infinity, or our real numbers. Our range is based off of our asymptote. Our asymptote is still y equals 0. But here, our asymptote for this one starts off at -infinity. So -infinity up to 0. And there we go. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, bye.